Today, we made a trip down to Home Depot. We bought ourselves a couple pieces of steel rod, steel square tubing, so that way we can do a little bit of mocking up of where our frame's going to be and everywhere where we're going to start applying our frame rail. I'm sorry guys, today I was cutting and I got a big piece of metal in my eye, so I wasn't doing too much today. Had to take care of that all day, so I did get some things done. So here's pretty much what I've got done already. You guys already know we already got the back half in here. We got everything lined up. So what I've done already is I've gone ahead and I bought this square tubing right here that we have here, and I went ahead and I tacked it into place, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna, like I said, this is why we left what we left, and we didn't just cut a straight line from one side all the way to the other. This is why, is because we're using physics to play into the part of putting this motor together as well. Because if you just would have cut there, what the hell are you gonna do? How are you gonna attach it? It's gonna be much harder. So it's better to have a little bit of knowledge on how things work, and then you can start putting stuff together. It's the one thing about being an engineer. So number one is we left this little spot. We left these little spots coming out from the side of where we left. And what that is the original subframe of the car. And the original subframe of the car goes under from here, and then we cut back. We cut back this way, all the way to the back, and then we cut flush all the way across on the original subframe, and then we came to the original subframe where it is, and we left the same thing over there. We left the same thing, as you guys can see. Now, I'm going to remove this for you right now so you guys can take a better look. As you guys can see, this is why we left that. Now, yes, there are spaces. There is a space in between. And the reason why is because you want to make sure, because this is going to sit level. Once you get that down, knock it down, make sure it's nice and pressed up against. Make sure it's a press fit. You want this piece from end to end to be a press fit. Hammer it down a little bit, get it good, and then the center point will leave you center point, so it'll be even on each side. Then the back part here is when we take our level, and we end up putting the level like this. And then we check to make sure this is level, these two pieces. So if you have to raise this one up from the back while it's sitting right here, that's perfectly fine. That's what I did. I got it tacked in place. Remember, this is just all tacked in place. Once I'm done, I'm going to stick weld it all together, so don't worry. So that's pretty much how you get that level. And you want both ends to be level the same way. The same way. Okay? And once you get that down, go ahead and tack it into place. Tack it into place. And then we can, so the idea of how I'm going to do this is I'm going to take, tomorrow I'm going to go get square tubing 2" by 2". And I'm going to just basically take it like this. Remember, it's going to be square tubing. And you want to go inward. You don't want to line it up to where you have an inch going in. Like, no, you want to have as much as you can. I prefer at least 5 inches. So we're going to go all the way in, and it's going to kind of lock into place. And as you can see, I can move the back half inward more if I wanted to. But we don't want to go too far. Now tomorrow I'm going to go get longer pieces. I'll show you exactly how it's done. I'm just giving you an idea. That's going to lock our frame into place. Okay guys, so from last time, from yesterday to today, I went and bought some more of that 2-inch steel square tubing, right? Like I said I was gonna get. And we pretty much put it where I said it was gonna go. So here's how we have everything set up for right now. So the reason why we left that the other day, that ledge hanging off, so here's the original frame, and built off of it, made it level, and then we put our 2-inch all the way through, and that piece goes all the way through to about right here, right in here. Once it gets to about right there, I have this other piece underneath that's same width, same diameter, same piece, square, put in there to take up the slack from underneath. We also have a piece we wedged in up top to take out the slack as well. And we just tacked it for right now because we're not going to use a MIG welder, we're going to use a stick welder. And then we come all the way over here, and we did the same thing with this square tubing. Runs all the way through. It's cut at a little bit of an angle, and it comes all the way to about right here. Right about here. And then we also have 1, 2, 3 pieces, and then one up top to take up the slack. We also have an L bracket down there to take up some slack. We're going to add another L bracket on top of that one to give it even more strength. And just know everything's tacked into place right now. So first we're going to work on this half, connecting it to the car. And now that we pretty much have that all done, you can see here, I'm like pushing down on it. We got no movement over here. I'm pushing down, pulling up, and we got no movement. That's what we want. We want it to absolutely be wiggle free. So once you got all that done, that's pretty much tying it in. We're going to weld everything up at the end. Not yet. Also, I am going to add a piece of square stock in place of this tubing right here. That way everything's nice and butted up, just like the back part here. Now remember, we're still going to build off of here and up here to connect everything around down to this tubing, and then from this tubing over to here to connect everything back half. So that way it's done on both sides. I'll come outside so you guys can take a look at how she looks from the back. Pretty much nice and even. So I mean, we're getting there, guys. We're pretty much almost done with all our... Almost. I didn't say we are done. I said we're almost done with all the bracketing we have to make for now. I mean, it's coming along. I'm kind of surprised of how well it's going along, and we're almost there. So just hang in there, subscribe, and keep following along, guys, because like I said, it's a project, but it looks like scraps now, but once it's done, it's gonna look tits. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Hang in there and subscribe. Thank you. Now, I've done a couple cutting. I have got a new welder. I told you we're going to do stick welding. It's just a cheap-ass Harbor Freight welder. Nothing fancy, nothing too fancy. Because we're only welding about 16 gauge. Maybe a tad bit thicker. The thickest I'm going is that. That's the thickest. So here's 16 gauge. And then here's that next to it. So we used 16 gauge to brace the inner and to keep the center of gravity out of either right or left. So what we did is we put a piece long enough, like I explained in the last part, and now the center of gravity is pretty much more towards the center than towards this way or more towards this way. Because these pieces, these tubes run all the way through to about 5 inches or 6 inches back. So it's pretty much the same length on either end. And if you have to cut it to fit, or you have to kind of twist it, because if you can see here, I had to twist it because it's kind of cut at an angle, kind of cut at an angle right about here. So mine is cut at an angle right there to fit, to slide in all the way back. Once we got that in place, it became way snug. We got it all leveled out like I showed you. I have a piece of metal with a piece of balsa wood on the end of it, and now what this is it gives me my measurement from the front end, from right there where the other piece would have been attached, and then it comes all the way over to here, which gives me the correct amount because it's snug. It's just snug enough to where we can slip it through, and it's not too snug to where it's going to fall out. Of there, guys. So you want it, I'm trying to show you, kind of, you get the idea. So that's my, kind of like my mock-up, what I'm using to keep everything straight and level and know that the motor mounts are going to be the exact width apart from where the original piece was added on that we cut off where the radiator support went. So I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek. Yes, my welds look like shit. I don't care because, number one, it's going inside and we're still going to build a box around those parts that we welded inside. So you're not even going to see the inside parts, which is why I don't really care about the welds inside. I just care that they hold up, right? Like over here, I don't care because all that's going to be stacked inside of a box of its own. So this is just extra support. Yes, I'm going to go over those welds, don't worry. Like you can see right here, those welds came out pretty good. I got some other, these didn't come out too bad, right? I still got to go do another pass right there, get that all situated. But, like the front of here, like that came out pretty good too. So you guys get the point. It's not going to be left like that. It will be closed off. It'll kind of look like the original subframe will be there. Also, we are going to add plates underneath where we leveled off everything. So we're going to add reinforcement plates through the bottom of here. And yes, we got a little bit where it's roomed out, where there's room, but once you level it off, we'll put more plates in there so that way there's not a gap in there. So that way everything's level and whatnot. But I mean, we're starting to get there, guys. Like, I can stand on the back, I can stand on this thing. I got a support bar that's running across here. We took out the tube and added a square, and then we cut a square here, notched it out, and then ran it to the original part where the frame would have went to the back half of everything, right inside those squares. So that way it's kind of like OEM but not OEM, if you get the drift. Other than that, guys, we're moving right along. It's getting there. I mean, I gotta thank all the haters that just, always have something to say. I mean, here's a build for you guys. I'd like to see you do this. Only few can do kind of stuff like this. I mean, if everybody can do it, then everybody would have one, right? So, I mean, here we're going little by little. Here's a little view from the back. It's getting there. And like I said, I could pretty much push down with all my might on here, and this thing doesn't flex at all. I'm going to show you. I can finally drop our back jack that's holding up our subframe in the middle, and here we go. Oh, look at that. And it stays up. That's kind of the clearance we're going to have from the ground up where the subframe is. I'm totally fine with that, because you guys got to remember, the car is sitting on jack stands, so when I pull the jack stands out, this should level out. This should flatten out. The body should come down. And it should flatten out even more, because I went as low as I can go with the coilovers, because it's better to be, when everything gets put in and the motor's in and it squats down, it's better for it to sit on the tires, because at that point we can raise the coilovers up. We'll have all that room to go up and get everything situated, instead of trying to get the right height of where we want it, placing it, having it squat, and then we're kind of screwed on which way we can go up or down. We only have a minimal amount. So that's why I did it the way I did it. Also, we are going to be sheet metaling in everything, so it's going to look just like a trunk. You won't see the tires. You won't see anything like that. I can't wait to get all the welding done, so that way I can start throwing in the harness and the dash and all those little things that I love to do. I mean, like I said, this was the biggest thing and the biggest part out of the whole build, is what's going to cost us time and where we need to spend the most amount thinking about how everything goes together. Other than that, guys, I mean, we're pretty much almost done connecting the two halves together. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how it rides, how it feels. It's just going to be so fun. So just hang in there. Like I said, guys, we're moving right along. Like I said, the bracing's underneath, so that way that's all going to get closed in, welded up as well, nice and sturdy. There's going to be a plate that goes underneath here, right, guys? Underneath there, straight. And then we're also going to box it in. We're going to box this in, right, to make it look like one piece. So pretty much that's all we have left to do, is do our boxing and some more welding techniques, get everything nice and sturdy, and then we can drop it off its jacks. Also, I'm not sure if I'm going to add a support bar from here going straight vertical up to the roof to provide that extra amount of strength, kind of like a half roll cage dome right here, and then those support beams going up. I'm not sure. It depends on how much flex and everything there is, but I do want to incorporate the Del Sol back window like I was telling you. So I'm sorry, guys, it took a while. I ended up getting a piece of metal in my eye. I got it out. Saved my eye. Thank God. You guys can always reach me on HP Tuning, Tuning, Tuneing, on Facebook, or you can just get a hold of me through my YouTube channel. So, if you guys have any questions or anything, just hit me up. Keep following along, and